So I had a good idea for that. 7.5 is good. All right, yeah, starting B3 Gaming Cast episode 44. This is Janzer, as always, mostly your host, and we have no Count.
Oh, we do have Count. He's just invisible and mute.
Oh, right, yeah, he's there. You can see his name. That's right. If you're watching the Twitch live stream, B3 Gaming Cast on Twitch, yeah, Count is there in spirit, literally, like a spirit. I think he drank too many spirits, and so he is a spirit. Then, of course, GamerTron, the GamerTron show.
How you doing? So glad to be back. Oh, man. Do enjoy a good podcast every week. So glad to be back. And we have a lot to talk about. This was a very busy week in terms of gaming news, media, all that crazy stuff, and for our channels as well. And in your personal life, it's been busy week for you, eh, Janzer?
Yes, yeah, extremely busy. It's felt like an entire month. So, but let's not talk about boring crap like that. Let's talk video games.
Yes.
We have a lot of stuff to cover.
Yes. Okay, should I start or you start?
Yeah, I like, guys, we actually prepared this time.
Yeah.
So I like what we did. So if you want to start off with some of your topics here.
Oh, okay. What I'd like to start off with, one of the more popular topics, what happened this week, Titanfall 2's live fire update. It's finally here. It finally came. Titanfall 2 finally got its next big DLC update since its Angel City update. And so I've played the new game mode, I've tried out some of the new changes and like all the new like reworks and nerfs and buffs and stuff like that. And so far, the general community response has been extremely positive. People are loving the live fire patch and the new game mode, and everything I said about live fire has come to pass. I said that this game mode would be very competitive, that this would attract the more competitive side of the Titanfall 2 multiplayer community, and it absolutely has. Every time I got into live fire, I was playing with people who were my equals. I don't mean to brag, but I'm pretty good at Titanfall 2. My win rate is 56%. My KD is in the positive, so I'm pretty decent.
Sorry. Yeah, people have to know that we would be playing games in Discord, and GamerTron would be, I gotta go play Titanfall right now because it's Titanfall happy hour.
Yeah.
And we would hear him, I'm carrying the team. I just killed 6 people at once, or whatever it was. I'm like,
that's
it'd be so annoying.
That's
so
all
annoying.
Very true. Very true. I can't deny that.
Video or it didn't happen. So.
Good. I got video.
Go ahead, though. I derailed you.
Yeah, but so live fire, how the game mode works is 5 players each team. Everyone has only 1 life, and there's 5 rounds. You have to win 5 rounds to win the match, and it's very intense. Knowing that you have only 1 life, it has you really using the movement system in ways you haven't used it before. Like, usually in regular matches of Titanfall 2, it's all about getting from point A to B as fast enough. Now it's everybody dodge like a motherfucker, all jump from wall to wall. Everyone's trying to be Spider-Man. It's insane. It's ridiculous. And I see people using the pilot abilities and the weapons in whole new ways that I'm just not used to in the normal game modes.
This makes me not want to play at all.
I understand, dude. I understand. Like, live fire is a competitive mode for competitive players. It's very intense. It's incredibly fast-paced. It's more fast-paced than the base multiplayer game modes because the new maps, there's 2 new maps for the live fire game mode. Meadow, and I forget the name of the other one.
I didn't get them. All I have here is to go along with the mode, the update adds 2 new maps that are specific to live fire. Stacks. And Meadow,
that's the one.
Meadow and Stacks are described as tight, enclosed death boxes designed specifically for the fast-paced, intense nature of the mode.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, it reminds me of something like trying to bring in the crowd of like the Quake and Doom people that want deathmatch mode. Because 60-second rounds.
Yes.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's just insane.
I get what the devs were going for, and they fucking nailed it. It's so fast-paced, it's addicting. Before I knew it, 2 hours had passed, and I'd been playing live fire for 2 hours, and I was like, what? It's been 2 hours? What? Because the matches are so fast, and they're very addicting. On top of that, for this entire weekend, live fire, if you play the live fire game mode, you get double XP. So I've been leveling up, like, I'm almost at max level. I've never done this in a multiplayer game ever. I never prestige, never regenerate, never do stuff like that. Titanfall 2 is the only multiplayer game where I've done that. And thanks to live fire, I'm almost at max level. It's awesome. It's awesome. But next to the new game mode, which is great, and I really enjoyed, especially if you're into competitive multiplayer. I know you're not, Chanzer, so I can understand your reluctance to try out live
Look,
fire.
let me tell you what's going on. I'm not competitive because I can't be anymore. I'm a broken human being. I can't. I don't have the reflexes. This shoulder is just garbage. It's just like today it hurts. The other day it hurt. I have to get the right perfect setup. You know, I'm like a little prima donna. I can't function at base level unless I have the perfect setup. That's at base level. If people have the perfect setup for them, they function at this level. I'm like, all right, I can actually get to the battlefield now. Where are the enemies at? You know, that's about it.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Oh, and there's there's more Titanfall 2 news I almost forgot about, but I just remembered bringing it up now.
Really?
Okay, good. Yes, I can bring that up later after I'm done talking about live fire.
Okay.
So along with the live fire update with the new game mode, they also finally did some very necessary buffs and nerfs. For instance, many people will be very happy. Like, if you know anything about Titanfall 2, people keep saying that the particular Titan Tone is OP.
Tone. Okay.
She got a nerf. She's still a great Titan. However, she does not deal the ridiculous amount of damage she could deal with her weapon and her tracker rockets. Before, she would wipe Titans by just hammering them with her 40mm tracking rockets.
Gotcha.
She would hammer them with her 40mm cannon and then follow up with tracking rockets, and it just did ridiculous amounts of damage. They've nerfed that to where it's now reasonable. She's still a pretty solid Titan. She's not useless. She hasn't been nerfed into the ground. It's just that she's no longer the goddess of all the Titan classes. I see her being used much less, and I'm seeing a lot more Ronins and Scorches, which I'm really happy to see.
The weebs are happy now, so they can get back to their samurai sword. My samurai sword!
Yes, very much so.
Great.
There's also some weapons that got the much needed nerf, specifically the Devotion LMG and the Hemlock assault rifle. The Hemlock being a burst fire rifle.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was very
3
effective.
or 5 shot? I can't remember.
It's free shot, but there's an upgrade, a perk you can add that makes it 5 shot. Okay, so that was able to kill ridiculously fast at long ranges. They've nerfed the range and the damage to the body, because before it could kill a player in a single burst to the body if you all the shots hit the body. They've changed that, so now we'll take 2 bursts so that players can actually react when they're getting shot at. So it's not instant kill from. So they basically took this kind of sniper-like ability out the Hemlock, and they've added a lot more recoil to the Devotion LMG. The biggest criticism of the Devotion LMG was that it had a ridiculous fire rate and damage, but also it was too accurate, and people were sniping with an LMG. So now that they've added just enough recoil that's not possible anymore. You can try, but the recoil is gonna be so bad you're gonna be missing most of your shots. So it's a lot more balanced. People are a lot more happy with how they've changed the weapons, and I see a lot less of those weapons being used on people experimenting with the other weapons more, which is great. And finally, we have the new matchmaking system, which they added. So now, because of this new matchmaking system, all the game modes are being populated, because what they've done is they've kind of made what they call a mixtape playlist, where you're able to customize the game a game mode playlist of what you want to play. So instead of I want to play this game mode, I click on this game mode. Now it's select which game modes you want enabled and which ones you want disabled. And they're all enabled from the start, and most people are leaving it like that, they're not bothering to customize their playlists, so everyone's getting into all the game modes. It's wonderful, especially on PC, where some game modes were just vacant. Now they're all populated.
Yeah, that was
again.
A big problem when I played Titanfall 1 for sure, is people only played 3 game modes at most.
Yeah, you know? They've changed that with their new matchmaking system and the way they've enabled their mixtape playlist into it. Everyone's playing all the game modes again. I haven't played the game mode Bounty Hunt.
Still no Frontier Defense.
I have actually news on that. Which is so that was the live fire update. But turns out when live fire went live, what do you call them? Those people that dive deep into the codes of like games and stuff like that.
Right. They cut through. Gosh, I can't remember the name for it now. I know what you're talking about. They're basically hacking codes so they could read little tidbits of information.
Yeah. Turns out they did that, and the entire future of Titanfall's upcoming DLC has been revealed.
Data miner.
Data mining. Yeah. So they data mined the game, and they basically found out a bunch of the upcoming DLC, including like new weapons and new game modes.
When though?
Very soon. March. Like they have.
Soon, TM.
Yeah. Respawn has something planned basically for every month. In March, they're releasing a new game mode and the returning Titanfall 1 map, Colony. But as well as that, there was a list. I'm just going to bring up the list. Yeah, so Respawn has a ton of content planned for the game. It's kind of insane how much content. 1 second, it'll just be a moment. But while I'm looking this up, if you want to tell people, Janzer, you got Titanfall 2 recently as well, eh?
Oh, yeah, of course, because you gifted it to me, and I can't really say no to that game because I was going to get it regardless. By the way, I did see an article the other day that it is $25 at like Target or something like that right now. So that's probably still going on. If not Target, then like Walmart or one of those kind of like outlets. So definitely for a PS4. I believe, for PS4. So if you're interested in it on that, $25 is not bad at all for that game.
Okay, all right. Okay, I got the list up. So here are the upcoming game modes that are going to be coming around March and after March. New game mode called Hunted, Secure the Asset, Escape the Hunter, 4v4, one team defending, one team attacking, various objectives serving as the asset. You have to... One team has to defend these assets, including a black box. One team has to capture it and take it to like an extraction point. There's also going to be AI units, including prowlers, those alien dog beasts from the trailers. They're going to be in this game mode. Weapon supply lockers, which is also new. There's going to be no Titans and no boosts for this game mode. So that's Hunted. Now, they actually have a replacement for Frontier Defense. They're replacing Frontier Defense with what they're calling Co-op Bounty Hunt. Kill all enemy waves, Frontier Defense without a defense objective. Instead, it survive waves of enemies, more difficult enemies as it goes along.
Okay.
As you kill enemies, you earn money, and you can spend that money on resupply lockers and deployable unlocks, so like turrets and new weapons.
Frontier Defense, though. Well, that was an objective. This is what you're talking about is kind of like that Gears of War... what is it? What do they call it? Horde mode. There you go. That's what this sounds like. Like Killing Floor 2. If I want to play Killing Floor 2 or Killing Floor, I'll go play that. That's what this sounds like. Well, you know what? I need Frontier Defense. I need it. They better bring it.
Oh, dude. Oh, that reminds me. If you want to play Titanfall 1 sometime, I got my new hard drive. I finally got my new external hard drive. 3 terabytes. So
great.
I'll reinstall original Titanfall and relive the memories.
Great.
So yeah, that'll be coming. So Co-op Bounty Hunt. Whether that's going to replace Frontier Defense or it's going to be a game mode next to it, we'll see. Yeah. And the final new upcoming game mode is actually a game mode coming back from Titanfall 1, Marked for Death. Marked for Death is going to be coming back. So those are the 3 upcoming game modes. On top of that, there's also new weapons, a new execution.
Yeah, I saw that, a new pilot execution.
That was with live fire. There's going to be another new one, this time one that utilizes the grappling hook in the animation. So that's going to be pretty sweet. Also, like new weapons, like the details of the weapons have been revealed, but not the names. Apparently, there's going to be a new assault rifle, another new pistol, a new anti-Titan weapon. Like, Respawn, like, they have a large checklist, and I'm kind of happy that all this got revealed because it's nice to finally have an idea of what's coming in the future, and I'm looking forward to all these new game modes and all this new content coming to Titanfall 2. Despite like what people say Titanfall 2 is a failure and stuff like that, it's done well enough on consoles, it's made enough money back that Respawn have enough time and resources to make all these new game modes, all these new maps, all these new weapons.
But they still have not been able to say whether or not there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah, that's it.
So
we'll see. But
financially, not a success. But now they're at least gaining ground on that failure.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Hey,
trying to trigger me, but it won't work.
No, I'm not. I'm being brutally honest. That's how I look at my own accomplishments. I'm like, great, you just earned 100 subs or whatever. Yes, but I missed out on like 500. So it comes from within how I judge everyone else. You think I judge everything else badly or harshly? That's how I judge myself, sir. So yeah. All right, cool. Oh, well, that's good to hear. A lot of good things.
So that's all the Titanfall 2 news. Live Fire update is great. There's a ton of new content on the way. Greatly looking forward to it. Oh wait, there is one more thing of Titanfall 2. The along with all the other like game modes and weapons that were leaked, the new Prime Titans were leaked. North Star Prime and Legion Prime are going to be the next Prime Titans. The pictures have already been leaked, and they look fucking awesome.
Are they trimmed out with gold?
No. They just have like new designs that you can customize. They're very slick, very high tech, very futuristic. Whereas the normal
no gold
designs,
trimming.
No gold trimming.
So they're not Warframe. Okay.
No, it's not Warframe.
How about a Warframe getting into a Titan? Holy shit.
Jesus
that would be dumb. There's no need for the Warframes to get into Titans. Oh, man.
Oh, man. So do you want me to keep going on my news? Do you want to go back and forth?
No, please. Go ahead.
Okay. More news on my side. There was more gameplay released for Mass Effect Andromeda, showing off more of the gameplay. And basically what they showed off is a remarkable amount of gameplay customization. Like before in previous Mass Effects where you'd be locked down to a certain class, like Soldier, Vanguard, Biotic, something like that. And you'd be locked down to certain weapons and abilities, and you'd have to like start a new game, make a new character. Andromeda is scrapping all of that, and you're getting access to everything from the start, and it's all about customizing and building the different loadouts that you want. And you can switch loadouts on the fly. So if you want to play a soldier who mainly focuses on weapon and may fire ammo or tech damage, something like that, you can instantly switch with a click of a button to a biotic Vanguard with a shotgun, LMG, something like that. Yeah, exactly. They're opening the floodgates for customization in combat. So literally, this is one of the most Mass Effect Andromeda, gameplay-wise. I don't know about story, but gameplay-wise, it looks to be the most replayable single-player campaign of the Mass Effect in terms of gameplay. Like before with other Mass Effects, I'd usually stick to just what I liked because I wanted to experiment with the other playstyles, but like, do I want to really spend 30 hours with this playstyle that I may not like, wanting to play as a Vanguard or play as a Sentinel or a Soldier?
Vanguard for life. What?
Yeah, exactly.
That's me.
But with
Give me a shotgun. Yeah.
With Andromeda, you're able to switch your weapons, you're able to switch your abilities on the fucking fly. This new gameplay video has me hyped, and here's the thing, you can also do this with your companions!
Wow.
So it's like, the amount of gameplay customization in terms of combat, like, I'm really starting to warm up to Andromeda. The inclusion of the jetpack, this new loadout system, the complete access to all the abilities, loadouts, and stuff like that. Whew, it looks like it looks a lot of fun. It looks a lot of fun and just incredibly replayable. It looks so much fun.
Yeah, I just seeing that one combat video was enough to kind of like really get me hooked into like, wow, that combat looks smooth. It looks fluid. I really enjoy it looks pretty visceral. So, I have to see the next one. I bet it's going to be good. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's going to be good. Like, they go really in depth in how switching loadouts affects gameplay and how the AI reacts to it and everything. Andromeda's looking pretty good. I had my doubts, I had my worries, but the more I see of it, the more it's looking pretty good. It's looking.
I didn't have any worries or doubts. I was just waiting to see what would come up. Yeah, that's true. Philemon Grundy, if anybody, people listening and not in chat right now, basically he did a video on Andromeda. Definitely go check that out on the YouTubes.
Yes, please. Phil made an excellent video on Mass Effect. In other gaming news, Resident Evil 7 had a shit ton of DLC released this week. Basically a ton of new game modes and new story missions. I didn't get to play through all of it, but I got to play through most of it. And I have to say, from what I've played so far, the DLC is definitely worth picking up. It's quality DLC. It's seriously quality DLC. Wait, what's up?
I said why.
Why is it worth picking up?
Why is it worth picking up?
Okay, well, the content you're getting here, if you buy the season pass, it's $40, and for the $40 and all the DLC you're getting a survival horde mode, a fully fleshed out survival horde mode called Nightmare, where you have to survive 1 hour. You have to survive for an hour against waves of the enemies called the Molded, including boss battles against the Bakers. And the more you play this game mode, the longer you survive, the better score you get. It unlocks more stuff, like new weapons and items for you to use to help you survive even longer. So that game mode itself is very replayable. There's a new prologue story mission that shows the Baker family, like the antagonists of the games. It shows them before they became crazy. It's a very well made, like, cinematic story mission. It's very heart tugging, and it has the environment before it went to hell. It shows these characters before it went to hell. It they redid the entire location and the character models so that it wasn't all disturbing and disgusting. It actually looks normal. So again, that's really well made, and it gives a ton of new lore and backstory. That's really well done. There's a poker game, 21. It's the poker game 21, but you play as a character who's strapped up to a chair and with torture devices all around him from one of the bakers, the crazy kid Lucas, who has you playing poker 21 against an opponent, and basically you have to win. You have to win to not die, and if you win, the other guy dies by a horrible torture device. It's poker 21. It's poker if you like poker, but with this Resident Evil twist on it. There's also a ton of new game modes. Jack's 55th birthday. It's a very silly game mode where one of the antagonists, Jack, you have to gather items around the environment and give them to him in a certain time limit while you're being chased by enemies. It reuses the environment, but like the survival mode, the more you replay it, the more access you get to better weapons and items. And again, there's even more content. There's even more here. There's a game mode called Ethan Must Die, which is basically the campaign, but super hard difficulty with randomized items around the environment. Oh my god, there's so much stuff, dude. There's so much content. It's replayable content. It's genuinely well-made content. I already really enjoyed the campaign for Resident Evil 7, which I was able to beat this week. Made a video up on my YouTube channel for those of you who want to check Resident Evil 7. I already enjoyed Resident Evil 7. Count was totally right about Resident Evil 7. It's a really well-made game, really quality. And this DLC just adds so much more to it. There's so much content. It's replayable. It's fun. And yeah, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend Resident Evil 7 and its DLC. It's just really good. Does anything of what I'm talking about interest you, Janzer? Do you have any interest in Resident Evil 7?
I do. I've always had interest in Resident Evil 7. I never had doubts about it. It looked like an amazing game. The VR looked really fun. I really don't have any, why I haven't bought it is because, well, I haven't bought a Resident Evil game since probably 2. It's just not a series that I'm super crazy about.
User entered the channel.
Yeah, it's Count. So
yeah.
He's here. So he wasn't here, so I put up a little picture for him. Which, hey, to be fair, we did it to you too, all right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's all in good fun, except for when it's not. But dog is sitting here. Yeah, but no, I will get it at some point because it's actually made me interested. The only other game that I'm really interested in for Resident Evil, and I really should pick it up, and I'm sure it's gotten on... Oh, Jesus Christ. And I know that I can't, I don't know what's going on there with that. Anyway, that's Count. I'll edit the audio portion of this anyways to get all that crap out. I think it's Resident Evil 6. We talked about it before.
Yes.
I think it's the one where, wait, it's Revelations? Is that,
Revelations. Yeah, that was the... Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Resident Evil Revelations, that was the 2-part episodic version of
Right,
Resident Evil.
with Jill in the skin-tight suit. Yes, that's the one.
That wasn't Jill. That was Claire, I think?
It's Claire?
If we're talking about Revelations, I know... Jesus.
They're in I know. They're in a ship. And they're not really fighting.
That was the first Revelations. That was the first. I was thinking of Revelations 2. Sorry, yeah, the first Revelations. That was Jill. Yeah, you're right. And the skin-tight suit. Yes,
that's the one. That's the only other one that I'm interested in. I'm still fine with just watching it. So, yeah. And we have Count. He's back from the dead.
A is my
Jesus
shit.
Christ,
I'm
you're
not
super
trolling
loud.
you. I'm not trolling you. I promise. I'm sorry.
What? Why would you be trolling? What are you talking
No,
about?
I couldn't get my setup to work there.
Yeah, no, I figured it was stuff. It's
It's working now.
Yeah, I gotcha.
No, I'm sorry. I woke up late. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We waited a bit, but then by the time it was like 7:20 or close to 7:30, I was like, yeah, I guess we'll start. But I did give some time, so it's not like we just tried to like run through.
It's my fault. I apologize. I did fall asleep.
It's all good. It's all good. If you want, I can bring you in, but I'd have to reset up all.
No, don't worry about it. That picture is better right now anyway.
I couldn't find your logo, but I could find that, and I was like, because the only other way I could do this is if I do like that, but then it kind of like shows our other ones behind. We could do that. That's fine. But yeah. So he was talking about Resident Evil 7 and the DLC. Not sure if you got it or if you're interested in getting it.
What, the Resident Evil 7 DLC? I don't have it yet. No, I haven't.
Okay.
I beat the game, and I haven't been back on the game. I beat it just the first playthrough I did, and then I haven't been back on the game.
Gotcha. I recently beat the game, Count.
Yeah, I watched your video.
Yeah, thank you, Count. Oh,
whatever.
Man. What do you mean, whatever? I'm thanking you for supporting my content.
I was the one that watched it. Yeah, that was me. No, I watched your videos.
Are you talking about him or me? I don't think he has a problem with people watching his videos. Jeez. It's my issue.
Oh, man. Well, anyways, Count, that ending, though, right? Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I was a little confused on how to get to the woman, or how to get to the little kid when she pushes you back. I guess I'm not spoiling it anymore, huh?
Well, it's been out for over a month now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You guys can say whatever you want, and I still won't know.
Exactly. But, Count, have you heard about the DLC? Like, what it's about, what it contains?
No, I know you get I know you get another weapon. They give you, on your second playthrough, you get the Albert.
Oh, yes. It's a super powerful gun, but the ammo is extremely limited. Like,
right.
Yeah, you really, that's the boss weapon. That's the weapon you use on the bosses.
Well, apparently you may want to get the game because it has poker in it.
Yeah, it has 21 poker. It's a new game mode in the DLC. However, it's like Resident Evil, Saw, and poker all mixed together, where if you lose a game of poker, you like get your hand cut off and your opponent gets killed. It's nasty. Good stuff.
Is it blackjack or is it poker?
It's 21. 21.
That's blackjack.
Yeah, that's blackjack.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, the game calls it 21. I assumed, okay, never
mind.
mind.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah,
not every card game is poker.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's why I heard about that, but that's why I was a little confused about the poker thing, so.
Yeah, there's also like a new horde mode, a prequel to the main story where you see the bakers before they're infected. Like, there's a lot of really good content in the DLC for Resident Evil 7, and there's even more on the way. There's even more content in the way, including a completely free, you don't need the season pass for this, kind of an epilogue story where you get to play as a brand new character in Resident Evil 7. So Capcom's really going like all out with the content for this game, and I am totally shocked. Like, the single-player campaign is already lengthy and has a ton of content and is replayable, but they're adding all these extra game modes, all this extra stuff. Like, Resident Evil 7 is like just a really good package of a game.
Well, of course, they want to make a lot of money.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'll pick it up at some point.
They see a cash cow when they know a cash cow when they see
They did a damn good job. They did such a good job, and they changed it up from the whole everything they were doing with what like they'd I don't know, their story just gets crazy, you know?
Yes.
The story is just so ridiculous. And this almost seems like a kind of a fresh start that anybody could jump in there without having to like care about any of the backstory too much.
Exactly.
You know?
That's why I'm confused why they even called it Resident Evil in the first place, because it has so little to do with the previous games, and it's very great for beginners and newcomers.
Because it's the franchise. That's why you can't, you know, like, we're going to come out with a new like Mustang, but we're not going to call it a Mustang or a Ford, or we're going to call it, but we want it to have the success of, no, they're going to call, you know.
They're not going to take a chance on a new IP when they've got an established IP that they can kind of piggyback off of.
Yeah, if they could
and it's got some Resident Evil references in there, but it's not, you know.
Yeah, as long as they can loosely tie it to it, that's all they need, you know. Because the game is a good game. regardless.
Yes.
So
it is. It is a
produced
very good
well,
game.
I think. And,
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
I got some more stuff here, but Count,
Yep.
since you're here, do you have any topics you want to talk about, Count? Since you just
No,
got
you go right ahead. I'm still trying to wake up.
Yeah, go
Okay,
through.
no problem.
Go through.
Well, I'm going to talk about some more about For Honor, if you guys don't mind, because now this week I was able to really dive deep into the multiplayer and put several hours into it, and turns out the progression system is much deeper than anyone ever realized. It turns out you can level up your characters an almost infinite amount of times, and the more you level up, the more you prestige your characters, you get access to higher level gear. So it turns out that, like, higher level players actually do have an advantage over low level players. They get access to the cooler looking armor with the better stats, and it's really quite insane, like, just how far the customization
How is
goes.
cooler looking armor an advantage?
Well,
Yeah. Beside that, more importantly, what game modes allow you to actually take advantage of that stuff? Aren't there a couple of game modes that you can't?
yeah, exactly. The 4v4 game modes, Brawl, Elimination Skirmish, and Dominion have you use, like, the gear and armor. Like, their stats actually matter, while
Okay.
stuff like the 2v2s and the 1v1s, that stuff is disabled.
Okay. All right. There we go. As far as, like, yeah.
I
was just curious.
So.
Yeah.
No, it's good that you brought that up. It's good that brought up. So after spending a lot of time in For Honor and leveling up the different characters, I've come to realize that there are builds for the different characters. So even though the characters all have their very specific playstyles, there's even playstyles within those playstyles depending on how you build the characters. The revenge mechanic, if you guys remember from when you played For Honor, the revenge mechanic where if you block enough, you, like, get a temporary super mode and you're invincible for a short time. You remember that? Turns out there is gear.
Oh, yeah.
On the higher levels, that has you gain revenge. The revenge mode gains you revenge at a much faster rate, and has you do significantly more damage, makes you even more damage resistant than before. And so higher level players are able to upgrade their gear, because you can also upgrade your gear. Not only can you like get better gear just from, like, the premium crates and stuff like that, and just from leveling up, but you can
That's
also
why I went with the premium crates, because I was getting that gear. Like, I had gear at the lowest level that would help me gain a lot of revenge mode stuff, like damage or defense or whatever, or just gaining to get revenge mode, like in order to build that meter. So yeah,
Exactly.
even from the get-go, if you got the premium quality stuff, then you were going to get some pretty good gear.
But here's the thing: there's even better gear than that, Jen. So there's
Well,
gear
sure,
that's like,
but
there's
yeah, that's not
epic-
like unheard of.
Yeah, there's epic and legendary gear. There's
Okay.
like blue tier and purple tier, like colors like the Division, sort of.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
And this gear not only has incredible, like, models and designs for, like, the armor and weapons. Like, we're talking, it's gold, it's got, like, dragons and shit, markings. Like, it's really well done, very
Cool.
artistic, very elegant looking gear. So not only do higher level players get the better looking gear, but they get gear that can, like, max out stats. Like, literally,
Yeah.
how there's, like, little meters for, like, defense, attack, and stuff like that?
Sure.
Like, show your stats, you can max those out. You can
Yeah.
max those out and get
Cool.
them all the way to the end. So
Great.
there are literally players, if you played For Honor for long enough, and you max level everything, you will become, like, god tier, and you will crush lower level players.
I saw
And I'm
some
starting-
like level 1, and I think the highest was level 4 of these YouTubers, and they're not known for these guys. They were like, I think it was Achievement Hunter. They're not known for their good gameplay in any way, shape, or form. They're pretty bad, but they were able to take down 17s and 18s. So it's not always about the gear, just for people that are freaking out about, like, that kind of thing.
Oh no, it's no. Keep in
and
mind,
they won
this
those
is-
matches.
Yeah, this is, like, exclusively for, like, the 4v4 modes. The 1v1s and 2v2s, this is not a thing.
Yeah,
But if
they
you
were
go
doing
to
4v4. Yep.
Yeah, but if you go into 4v4, just know that like, there's the chance of encountering players that just have ridiculously high level gear.
But just
And
like Warframe, you still have to know how to play the damn game. It doesn't matter
Exactly.
what mastery rank you are. People can
Exactly.
get pushed up levels just by being part of a team. That doesn't make them have the skill.
Exactly. Like, I want to keep that in mind, because there are some people saying that For Honor is pay to win now. that
What?
once you level up and you start buying premium crates, you get access to this better gear. And I get where they're coming from, but again, it doesn't matter if you get revenge super quick, or if your attacks are maxed out. if you block the enemy attacks, if you parry, if you time your heavy attacks, you're going to take the other guy down. This is what I love about For Honor, is it's true skill-based combat. It doesn't matter how good your gear is. Like, does it give you advantage? Yeah, if you actually land a hit, if you get revenge mode, yeah, you will have an advantage in that regard because your stats are higher. But anyone who's mastered the gameplay mechanics of For Honor can take any other player out. And, like, dude, there's so much, because I'm literally going to be playing this game for years.
It kind of reminds me of the issue with Paragon and their card system, where you get RNG based on the card packs that you get.
Yes.
So you potentially could get a card that's really cool and actually do a really good thing for your build. But if somebody, you could buy your way to it, of course. Mm-hmm. So I can, is it full on like, the worst kind of pay to win? No. Is there still something there that could potentially give somebody an edge? Yes.
Yes.
We don't know how much money you got to spend, and
besides, well, here's the thing: you can't spend money right away to get that high-end epic level gear. You have to prestige. You have to level up.
Okay.
Like, I don't even have access to that stuff yet. I haven't even prestiged one of my characters yet. And keep in mind, there's epic and unique legendary gear for each of these characters, and there's so much color customization.
So there's a minimum amount of that kind of thing going on. Okay.
I just thought it was interesting to talk about, because now that, like, people are really getting into For Honor now that it's out and people are playing the multiplayer, like, people are really starting to realize, wow, this progression system is incredibly deep. This is going to take hours, weeks, months of your life if you want to unlock at least a quarter of everything For Honor has to offer. Like, there's so much visual customization.
Yeah, they may even adjust it, like the progression, depending on how much, like, public outcry there is,
Exactly,
how that goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course. Speaking of, like, public outcry, I want to talk about quickly in For Honor the metagame mode, the whole faction war that's going on. And I think just for the next couple of weeks, I may not necessarily talk about For Honor the game, but I will talk about the faction war going on in For Honor, because it is very interesting. So, here's the list in order of most popular factions.
Yeah.
Samurai is most popular.
That's correct.
With Viking in second place and
That's
Knights
correct.
at last. And
That's
of course, when For Honor first came out, I thought, I'll go with the Knights, because Knights are cool. Mm-hmm. I, of course, chose the faction that's getting our asses kicked the most.
I like Knights. I know a lot of people that like Knights, and honestly, I know a lot of people that like Vikings. And what's really funny is you're never going to really hear anybody admit that they're on the Samurai team. Because they're fucking weebs and they know it, and they don't want to get called out for it. But secretly,
damn it.
Secretly, they're polishing their sword at home, and because they own one from the local flea market, and whatever it's made out of, garbage material, and I can finally be a samurai. Yeah.
Oh, man. So, right now in the faction war, the samurai is kicking everyone's ass, but the Vikings are putting up a damn good fight. They're holding your territory and keep encroaching on samurai territory.
What I heard was one of the problems is Vikings and Knights were kind of just like, fair enough, let's go after the samurai because they're the problem right now. But apparently they started fighting, so that's going to cause an issue. Yeah.
So here's how it was. Here's how it was first. Before, it was each faction fighting each other. Then the samurai started taking huge masses of land from both Knights and Vikings. So Vikings and Samurai, kind of like on the subreddits and in the Steam community forums, people were like, okay, Vikings, Samurai, we have to work Vikings, Knights, we have to work together. We're getting our asses kicked. And then, I don't know who started, but all of a sudden, Knights or Vikings start taking territory from one another, and then they start fighting each other, and now, again, the Samurai just keep kicking ass. Now, the Knights and the Vikings have been able to hold their territory, but the Samurai, like, every round, because, again, this goes in rounds, like, every couple days, like, the time goes up and we see, like, what territory has been taken over and what factions are getting rewards. And right now, like, the Samurai, they just keep getting territory, and no one can make it to their capital. The Samurai have been able to make it to both the Knight and the Viking capitals. No one can touch the fucking Samurai. They are the most popular faction right now, and they just keep taking land. And right now, both Vikings and Knights, our teams are just struggling to survive the onslaught of Samurai right now. So I am calling on all my Knight brothers right now, all my Knight friends, everyone who plays For Honor and on the Knights. We have to come together. We must not let the weeaboos take our land. Deus Volt!
Why don't you just lag switch them?
Oh God.
Oh yeah, I saw all that garbage too. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a problem in For Honor. Thank God. People keep saying, like, why don't you talk about this, GamerTron? Why don't you talk about the lag switching and the shit going on with the connections in For Honor?
Yeah, the peer-to-peer servers.
Yeah, I just haven't experienced these problems. I simply have not. I know it's a thing. There's video evidence, so I'm not denying its existence, but I'm not going to talk about something I haven't personally experienced. I can't speak on it. I've seen the videos, I've seen the comments, I've seen the complaints, I've seen it all, but it just hasn't happened to me.
You know
I've been lucky.
You know why it hasn't happened to you?
Montreal, because where I live.
There you go. There you go.
Because I'm right next to the servers.
They're right next to the servers.
I don't know. Until I'm like having the issue too, it's hard for me to talk about it either. But yeah, I have seen some
Joe's
stuff.
Review?
No.
I
would imagine it's positive because he's not that stupid to go against this game. This game has a lot of good feel with the gamer community right now. So to go against it would be really fucking dumb. The only thing that people can be...
Dude.
But people got to be salty about everything. So the only thing that they can really be salty about is the whole, like, the server thing, of course,
Yeah, that's the big drawback.
That's the big thing. There are other little things.
He gave it a 7 out of 10. That's good.
Angry Joe?
Yeah, he gave it a 7 out of 10. That's good for him.
Yeah,
cool.
But here's the thing. Joe was being somewhat misleading, especially about the single-player campaign. He was, again, one of those people said, it's just a tutorial for the multiplayer. Yes, it teaches you the gameplay and prepares you for multiplayer, but it is not just that.
Yeah, but he didn't say that necessarily. I mean, he gave it a good...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, of course, he said it's a, tutorial, but, I mean, he wasn't, like, bashing it that much.
I wasn't saying he was bashing it, but I don't think people are giving the single-player campaign of For Honor credit enough, because Ubisoft put genuine effort into that.
The game is a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
You can't... That's true. You're right, GamerTron. But I've heard other people say the same thing on other podcasts, too. The single-player campaign there is some tutorial stuff in there, but that's kind of what single-player games do sometimes. Yes. They tell you how to play the fucking game, Also, there are people that are not going through their, like, advanced tutorial for their, combat, so you get people out there that don't actually know how to fight anyways, So yeah,
I mean the percentage of people that bought For Honor for the campaign is probably in the single digits.
Oh yeah,
percentage wise.
It's got to be really low.
There's not people out there.
I know most people bought it. For
it's a fighting game.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing.
Yeah, I know you're
all.
not. I'm just saying,
And the multiplayer is fantastic. Again, it's one of those games where hours would go by and I'm like, fuck, I've been playing the game for 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
It's very addicting. Like, a lot of people really love the duels. Duels is the most popular game mode right now, but I've been really into Dominion. I really love the tactics of trying to take over the different control points, manage the horde of minions, and deal with the multiple different players at the same time. It's also a great way to level up. But I know we've talked about For Honor a lot, and I just wanted to bring up that
we're
stuff
like
quickly.
45 minutes in. I haven't even I've got 2, 3, 4 topics we talked about.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just, you got to move on, man.
Okay. My last topic, and you guys come up, is just yesterday I was able to play Halo Wars 2. I bought it off the Windows 10 store, and it's what do you mean?
Just continue. Don't listen to him. Just keep moving forward. We're not going to get done.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So, it's the first Halo game on PC in a long, long time, and it's the first, like, big AAA real-time strategy game in a long, long time. And so far, what I really like about Halo Wars 2, one, it embraces Halo. It is pure Halo. The character designs, the maps, just the art style, and the music. Like, this is pure Halo. This is Halo if it was an RTS, and it's a really weird transition. I'm so used to Halo as a first-person shooter. Playing it as an RTS is at first an odd feel, but Halo kind of really works as an RTS with all the different units and vehicles. It feels like it has the layout, it has the building blocks for a good RTS, and that is Halo Wars 2. It's a very simplistic RTS. You build a base, you build an army, you fuck each other up. But I've played so many RTSs of late that have these complicated mechanics, complicated resource management, all this stuff, that it's really refreshing to play an RTS that just build a base, build an army, and fuck each other up. It's very simplistic, but it's a lot of fun, and the units are so much fun. The voice acting for the units is hilarious. If you've played Halo, you know they throw in a bit of cheesy sci-fi comedy in there with the super macho space marines and the silly aliens. It's a lot of fun. I won't go into too much more detail about Halo Wars. I haven't beaten the campaign yet.
Yeah.
I've just tried out the tutorials and some skirmishes against the AI. So far, it seems like a solid RTS. It seems like a genuine Halo game on PC, which is a rarity, a rare breed in itself.
Right.
And it's a Windows 10 store exclusive that actually works properly. I haven't encountered any issues with it so far. So
You say that about every single Windows 10 game you buy, though.
Bullshit! I said Quantum Break and the first Gears of War I was having severe issues with.
Yeah.
Before I was saying Killer Instinct was the only game I wasn't having problems. Then I got Gears of War 4, and now this, and they're running perfectly fine. I really think Microsoft has learned their lessons. Let's not put anything on the store until it actually works properly. Okay, well, anyways, that's all my skit. That's all my news stuff. I have some stuff left over I can bring up later if you want, but in the meantime, you guys, you have the stage.
Yeah. Yeah, Count, I don't know if you're awake or not yet, but if you've got anything on your list we can talk about.
Well, the only thing interesting, well, somewhat interesting that I'm going to be doing is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of torn between getting that or the new Tom Clancy game that's coming out March 7th, but I didn't really want to get both because I'm not going to have time to play both, but right. I'm leaning towards Horizon Zero Dawn because the reviews are just so good so far.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone's gushing about the game. I mean, a few people have said that the story's kind of and then there's this big thing about it's feminism and shit because Alo is the character and they're
can't have a woman without being feminist, right? That's how it is now.
God. Now the anti-SJWs are becoming SJWs themselves. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Anyways.
But, I mean, that's about it. I'll probably be getting that on Tuesday when it releases for PS4. So I'll report on it next week, or whenever.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot of good reviews. So
I guess
far.
I guess some of the game reviewers, not all of the big YouTubers got the game early. I guess they were selective and who they were sending that out to. And there was a few YouTuber game reviewers that were bitching that they didn't get an early copy and everything.
Babies.
It's like, how do they determine who gets an early copy? So, I mean, I can understand, frustration on that, but I don't know. Can't you just enjoy the game? It's just like, why does everything have to be a review? And
yeah, I know.
You know
right?
what I mean? It's like YouTube is taking over gaming, where the tail's wagging the dog now or whatever. So
yeah, we can trust me. I've got something in here on my list about that we can talk about.
Yeah,
sure.
Go ahead.
No, when we get around to it, I don't want to. I'm just saying, I got something.
Okay.
Why are you pink in the chat, GamerTron Show?
I don't know. It decides. It doesn't matter. It decides what it wants to be. I have no
blue
control over it.
Yeah,
it's blue to him. It's green to me.
It must just be my monitor, but anyway.
No, I think it's just how it is with Twitch.
I mean, I didn't do much with gaming this week. They released Black Bolt on Marvel Heroes. I've been fooling with him a little bit.
Oh, a new character.
Yeah, a new really popular character. So now everybody's Black Bolt in the game, and everybody's running around as Black Bolt. I'm like, oh, really? So I was kind of late to the party on trying to make a video for that, but other than that, that's about it.
You make videos?
Not really.
I'm kidding, Count.
Especially not lately, but go ahead, Janser, with what you were going to talk about. I think I know one thing you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. I was just saying, like I said, for later on. Yeah, I did come across this thing here. Just real quick, these are just some real quick things. So I don't know if y'all saw ZeniMax filed an injunction against Oculus over stolen tech. So basically, even though they won that last lawsuit and they had to, Oculus, Facebook, whatever, had to pay out $500,000, ZeniMax went and said, you know what, that's actually not enough. So they're like, on the new tech, we basically either want, number one, for Oculus to stop producing that, or number 2, for us to get a part of the revenue, of course, because why wouldn't they ask for that? So yeah, that's a thing. Let's see here. Next, I've got 2017 DICE Award nominees. And it says here, I'm looking at this. Yeah, I'm looking at this, and it says winners will be put in bold. So their 2017, I don't understand how they already have 2017 awards, and it's been 2 months at most. But they have Overwatch for Game of the Year. I guess they mean for 2016, not 2017, right?
Yeah, that's weird. I notice companies that do awards lists, they put the current year instead of the year beforehand, which is the year they're actually getting nominees from.
Right. Outstanding achievement in game direction, Inside won that. Outstanding achievement in game design, Overwatch. Outstanding achievement in online gameplay, Overwatch. Handheld game of the year, I don't give a shit. Strategy simulation game of the year, Civilization 6. Okay.
Oh, that's okay, yeah.
Went against XCOM 2, Banner Saga 2. Let's see, sports game of the year, Steep. That's that VR game.
Yeah, Steep's actually pretty good. My brother plays that. He really likes that.
So then we got RPG, Massive Multiplayer Game of the Year. This is kind of questionable to me. Massive Multiplayer Game of the Year. So this is an MMO RPG because it's an RPG, massively multiplayer. Mm-hmm. Dark Souls 3. I'm like, what? It technically is, but it's not MMO.
It's an RPG. That's just weird.
And it technically is massively multiplayer, but not really.
No.
It's the multiplayer aspect is an extra part of it. It's not the primary focus of the game. So,
it has servers, so yeah, it's got to be a massive. It's got to be an MMO because it has servers.
Right.
I mean, what?
World of Warcraft was on that list. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. But
that's a single player game.
Understand that part? I guess there's something you can do in Deus Ex that makes it.
There's no multiplayer whatsoever.
There's got to be some multiplayer. You're saying
No Man's Sky MMO of the year.
Game, man. I own the game. I play the game. There's no multiplayer.
There's got to be something. They wouldn't just throw that in there.
Dude, there is no multiplayer in the
Hyper
game.
Light Drifter, which I'm not actually familiar with. And then The Division was in there, but no one likes The Division, but everyone likes to shit on it. So, all right, Racing Game of the Year for Forza Horizon 3. Fighting Game of the Year, Street Fighter 5.
Of course.
That's cool. Family game, I don't care about family games. Immersive VR, Super Hot. That's cool. That deserves that.
Yeah, Super Hot. In all seriousness, Super Hot VR. I've seen gameplay videos of that. Super Hot VR is fucking awesome.
It honestly didn't have a lot to fight against. I mean, we're talking about Job Simulator. Get the hell out of here. Outstanding technical achievement, Uncharted 4.
Understandable.
Battlefield 1 was in there. No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Titanfall 2. So cool. Anything to crush the Overwatch people. Outstanding achievement in story, Uncharted 4. That's against That Dragon Cancer, Oxenfree. I don't even know what Oxenfree is.
Oxenfree is a story game. It's a kind of like a 2D side scroller. It focuses on kind of old school 90s, 80s horror-esque mysteries. It's kind of think Stranger Things if it was a video game.
Stranger Things if it was video game. Okay.
Isn't that a Unity engine game?
Oxenfree? I don't think so. You're thinking of a different game count. I'm honestly kind of surprised that Uncharted 4 won the Outstanding Story Achievement, while Inside and Firewatch are there, and I find Inside and Firewatch to have... I've seen the cutscenes of Thief's End. It's good, but Inside and Firewatch tell much more powerful stories, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got. Inside and Firewatch were on there. Yeah. Outstanding achievement, sound design, Battlefield 1. That's fine. Inside, Last Guardian, Quantum Break, whatever. Outstanding achievement, original music composition, Doom. That's good.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Character, Last Guardian, Treacle.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. What? What's wrong with that?
Wait. Okay, one second. I'm looking at these characters.
Yeah, you got Call of Duty
Infinite Warfare?
That has an outstanding achievement character nomination. First off, get the fuck out of here.
No,
Firewatch, totally understandable.
Yeah, Firewatch, understandable. But
Uncharted, Nathan Drake, duh, that's just a given.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
And yeah, Last Guardian Trickle, because remember, that is an animal thing that doesn't speak. So in order to build character, you have to work your ass off to get it to have character. But yeah, Y2 Firewatch. I guess people really enjoy the characters of Firewatch.
Oh, they're really good. They're really good.
And then Call of Duty, because hey, you got to throw that in there. People pissed if you don't have Call of Duty.
I will give them this. That character Reyes, he is voiced by Brian Bloom. He does do a good job. So you know what? I can understand that.
I don't understand. I'm going to look into that later because that sounds really
Brian Bloom, BJ Blazkowicz.
That sounds really suspect. Why is a guy named Reyes voiced by Brian Bloom? Never mind. Let's move on. Outstanding art direction. Inside, that's cool. I've seen it.
Yep, understandable.
Animation, Uncharted 4.
That's understandable.
Sprite Award. I don't know what the fuck that is. Adventure Game of the Year. Uncharted 4. Action Game of the Year. Overwatch.
Bullshit.
And blah, blah, blah. You just don't want any Overwatch anything.
No, Action Game of the Year. When you compare
they're a bunch of pussies.
When you compare Overwatch,
we're going to talk about that.
Like the other competitors, Doom and Titanfall 2, you're going to tell me if you compare Overwatch to Doom and Titanfall 2 that Overwatch will be your action game of the year.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have single player. Jesus Christ.
They're going to tell you that. That's for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. I'm just reporting it so people can hear about it. That's all. Another quick thing to report on that people can hear about: ESO Morrowind this June. So if you're playing ESO and you're interested in Morrowind, which I think was set 200 years behind current time, I could be wrong. Maybe it's 2000.
I think you're right.
I don't know which one, but chat would tell me. That's for sure. Graham will
200
definitely
years
know.
Before, I believe. Isn't
There
it?
you go. So you get to see some of the characters that are in the current version of the storyline that much younger. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. I will leave that one to later. Digital homicide lawsuit against game critic Jim Sterling dismissed with prejudice. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Those guys are fucking idiots. So yeah, what did they think? What would happen? They just wanted their 15 minutes. They wanted to stay 15 minutes. Come here, dog.
I know.
I took you out before we even started this. You don't need to go. Let's see here. There was a little prequel to Alien Covenant that was like a 5-minute prequel during the third episode of FX's Legion. I know it's on YouTube. I gotta go check that out. So in case you guys didn't hear about it,
I just hope it's better than Prometheus.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I think anything.
I don't think that's
crap is better than Prometheus.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
yeah. So then there's a quick thing on a game called P.A.M.E.L.A that's coming out. Let's see here. Pop this over there. That's coming out on Steam's early access. Of course, we know how that's working now. They got to pay to get in there. It's no longer free like Greenlight used to be, where people used to get voted in or whatever. So apparently it's developers that used to do architectural visualization. So basically thinking about walkthroughs of buildings that are going to be made, I actually know somebody that does that. And it's actually lucrative to do that kind of stuff. They do 3D modeling is really what it comes down to, lighting and all that stuff. It's gonna, let's see. There was one really cool thing that may not be interesting to some people, but I don't give a shit. There's a diegetic user interface that they're going to be using, which means basically their interfaces on their kind of there's a wrist. I don't know what like a wristband or something that they have to wear, like a bracer.
How would you describe?
It's like a bracer.
Yeah.
It's like a bracer, and it's got digital reading stuff. So if you want to see a mini map or whatever, you do something there, and then they're holding it in their hands. So you kind of
a more simple way. It's like your inventory, but it's in game. It doesn't pause the game. It's in game. You're interacting with it.
Yeah, I'll explain. Diegetic basically means as long as it's something that your character can use in the game, and not something that's overlaid. It's not something that is game breaking immersion wise. It's okay, I'm going to open up a backpack and your character literally takes out a backpack and opens it up.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. That's diegetic.
It's very interactive. P.A.M.E.L.A, yeah.
Yeah. So that's and basically people have kind of said similar to BioShock and some kind of survival horror type games. And I was okay, I took a look at it. It looks really neat. We'll see how it goes, but it's going to be coming out March 9th on Steam Early Access. I don't know what that means to us. I don't know if they're going to charge for it or not. I haven't looked in. I haven't seen anything about that.
Oh yeah, they're going to charge for it. They've said they're going to charge for it.
Well, there you go. Because some games they don't, some games they do. All right. So now I've got a couple of the bigger topics here. I don't know which one. I want to attack first.
Attack viciously.
Yeah. All right. So there's this article, World of Tanks Twitch streamer. So this guy, what's his name? Brian Vigneault. Apparently died.
Yeah, it's hard to pronounce his last name.
Yeah. Yep. He died during a charity stream, and that is what that is, right? But the reason why I brought it up was because I saw a Kotaku article about it, and it was like they were basically kind of saying like, well, isn't Twitch kind of responsible for, streamers that are doing 24-hour streams? What about the charities? Shouldn't they be like doing something instead of saying like, go ahead and do the thing, and we're just going to take your money? And I was like, okay, what's going on with this article, Kotaku? So then I saw another article come up. And it was called "Trying to Make It as a Twitch Streamer Could Have Killed Me."
I saw that. That was Kotaku. Yeah.
I read that. Yes, it was. And so I read that, and this is my point. Now, that guy died, Brian Vigneault, and this other guy, I didn't get his name. It's in the article. It's not that important what this guy's name is. He didn't die or anything like that. He had some health problems, and he was just detailing how while he was streaming, he had health issues. Now, first off, this is scummy as fuck from Kotaku, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to build a news feature for themselves for the future. They're trying to create this thing about like, they're trying to create this like interest over like, whoa, this could be dangerous for Twitch streamers, and Twitch streamers can jump on board with it, because they want to feel a little bit more legitimate. Like, wait, what I'm doing, this could like hurt me, that kind of, they want to get people's interest. They want to, not in a necessarily negative way, but playing video games is not exactly looked at by the rest of the world. Gamers think that, oh yeah, gaming is totally everywhere. It's really not.
It's not.
In the minds of standard, normal people that don't give a fuck about video games, which is actually the majority of people on the planet, gaming doesn't matter. But
it's
gamers,
a colossal waste of time to the majority
gamers don't see that world. Yeah. They don't, because they just can't. So I stand like, me and Count, we have a foot in the past and a foot in the future, so we can see both, GamerTron, you grew up in gaming and all of that, and the computer, and internet. So to you, it's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's a very standard thing. And I think it is very generational. I agree. Like, every generation below me probably is very used to video games, but even in my generation, a lot of them look at it as a huge fucking waste of time.
Right.
So you're a loser. You are literally, they don't see the value of like online communities. They don't see the value of any of that. Now, to be fair, they also don't see that spending, 200 hours with your sports team as being a negative thing either, though. It's the same goddamn thing. It's just if you're spending all that time on one specific hobby, you're a fucking nerd. That's just what it is, Yeah. So or whatever it is.
There's nothing wrong with being a nerd. Just
you're wasting your time either way. So why are you going to criticize me for how I waste my time here? Anyways.
Well, I know guys that'll spend 8 to 10 hours in a fucking tree stand waiting for deer.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah, they want to hunt, whatever. That's their thing. And
that's what I come back with them. There's a lot of hunters around here. A lot of good old boy, hunter. I was like, why don't you, oh boy, you and your high-powered rifle against Bambi. Why don't you go wrestle an alligator with your bare hands or some shit like that?
That's so much fun.
But
that's so much fun.
8 to 10 hours in a tree stand is
sitting
there immobilized. Is what's the difference?
Right.
So.
Yeah, not
but
to
I
get
agree
too.
with you, Janzer. It's a total hack job what they're trying to do.
Right, and not to get too off base. Building on what Count said, the point I'm trying to make with that with how other people view gaming comes back to streamers looking at any kind of like high profile news that brings attention to them that will make what they do legitimate. So if somebody died and they're tying this together with like streaming, and they're saying, well, these 24-hour, look what they're doing, a 24-hour charity.
It's ridiculous.
For, whatever. It's really not, but you got to remember some of these Twitch streamers aren't necessarily just doing it for the charity. They're doing it for themselves.
Of course they're doing it for themselves. Yeah.
You know, there's some people that legitimately are doing it for the charity, and there's some people that are legitimately doing it for the charity and for themselves. And then there's other people that are like, as many of these things as I can do to pull in views, I'm going to do.
Well, if you read that article, Janzer,
I read both of them.
And the guy was like, I was sitting at my computer for 8 hours, and I would lose viewers every time I'd get up to go to the bathroom. So I'm forced to stay there. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Nobody told you that you had to make money off of playing video games. That is a personal choice. And it's a personal choice made by very few people. So quit playing a victim. You know what I mean?
Here's the other thing. I put this on Kotaku because they're building. Yeah. You know, they're starting to create these articles. And why I say Kotaku is because I looked at other gaming news outlets. Everyone else simply reported. They simply reported. They did not start interjecting. Yes, they didn't interject.
It was an unfortunate event that this guy died while he was streaming.
Correct. And they said, hey, we don't know why he died. He could have had health problems. He could have whatever. They don't know.
There was no agenda there in their headline.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. That's the whole point. Is Kotaku built one saying, well, what about Twitch? Why aren't they doing anything for this? Well, what about the charities? Why aren't they doing anything for this? Well, you know how dangerous this could be? It's like, are you stupid, Kotaku? Are you that dumb that you don't think that people can see what you're doing, trying to build up these different articles, pointing at like, like this other one?
They're trying to stir
this could have killed me. You know what could kill a lot of people? Skydiving, but they do it anyways. You know, so you can't blame.
It's the same mentality that blames Marilyn Manson for school shootings.
Right. You can't blame airplanes for your death in the skydiving.
Yeah, it blames Judas Priest that your 16-year-old son shot himself because Judas Priest.
Or the big thing when I'm so like back in my day, it was like, Ozzy Osbourne's satanic, or Kiss is satanic. Remember that stuff,
Oh yeah.
So it's that same like we got to find a way to point a finger at somebody rather than deal with the issue.
Recently with gaming too, and I made a video talking about this, very, very similar to this, about how articles about people on violent video games and how it makes them psychopaths. Like a lot of like outsider looking in kind of. Journalists and news websites are again they're riding on the violent video game bandwagon again and calling people who play violent video games violent. It's just such bullshit.
There's absolutely no statistics to back up any of this crap.
I know. When are people just going to accept the fact that evil people do evil things and stupid people do stupid things?
And it doesn't matter what you're doing in the meantime. It is not it doesn't have an influence on the direct cause of said action.
Right. Here's the thing. These guys, first off, for the first guy, the World of Tanks streamer, we don't know anything about what happened there. The second guy, the second article, the one about, I was streaming and it could have killed me. That guy, he actually had a thyroid problem prior to even starting streaming.
Right.
So he already had health issues.
He was in sad shape.
And then what he did was he decided he was going to live stream and sit on his ass for 10 hours a day. And I may be a little gruff with it, but you're going to sit down for like 10 hours a day and do nothing. He admitted he did not attempt to do any health related things with himself.
Right.
He had the same amount of time. Like he breaks down his timeline, and guess what? It's the same amount of time that a normal person works a job. Mm-hmm. He tried to make it more. He did. It's 6 to 7. He would get ready. From 7 to 3, he would go to work. From 3 to 4, nothing. From 4 to 6, he did like business calls and whatnot. From 6 to 7, nothing. From 7 to 8, he made dinner and ate, I suppose. From 8 to whatever time, he played with his kids or something like that. At 10 o'clock, he went to sleep. He actually just described a normal person's working day. Maybe not 7 o'clock that people start. Maybe some people start at 8. I started at 9. I used to start at 8:30, But it doesn't matter because the amount of time he actually works less than I did. Like when I was doing web development for at the old company I was with, there was a time when we did 5 hospital sites and it was crunch. All of them had to be done within a 6-month time period. It was ridiculous. We were going crazy. I'm not even like joking. We had guys that were there that were like, we thought that were, they're kind of like robotic. they were like rocks. You couldn't tell what was going on with them. Very typical like robotic type developer. Like, yes, this is fine. We'll do that. Blah blah blah. Whereas I'm kind of a little bit more like energetic person. And those kinds of people that would never forget anything, they never had everything they did was very deliberate. They always remembered everything. They were extremely smart. They would walk into my office and be like, I don't know why I'm in here, but I'm in here, and just be kind of like rambling because we were working so many hours. I was working easily like, 11, 12, 13 hours a day. I'd get in like at 9, leave at 10, leave at 12, sometimes. And I was like, I actually kind of just wish I had a cot in here to sleep here. If I didn't have a dog, I'd have no responsive reason to even go home. So I'll tell you what, anything in bad balance is going to fuck you up. That's all that it comes down to. Did you hear what
the guy said in the article? Oh, streaming is so stressful.
It is stressful.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, it is. It is. When you don't not care, when you give a shit about your numbers, when you give a shit about what people expect from you, it is stressful because you're putting that stress on yourself.
Exactly.
You're creating a stressful environment for yourself. The same way when I worked in web development, I had budgets, I had expectations from clients, external and internal. You want to call them clients internal because that's how it is. I had my own like problems to work out with code. I had all of these things to handle. People's schedules, their path up the chain, whatever it was, whatever issues they had, communication problems. That's stress. What streamers do is stressful too in its own way, but it is self-created stress.
Exactly.
It's a mental thing. I feel stress from streaming sometimes. There was one time I was going to stream, and I started to, and I just started having like a kind of anxiety thing, and I was like, I got to cut the stream short. Sorry guys, I don't feel good. I got to head out. But that's because I've got other issues going on as well. My point is, we don't know what's going on with those.
Built by the streaming.
Exactly. My point is, if you don't balance your life, if you constantly work like a crazy person, no matter what job it is, there was a reason why you were telling us that you may not be able to make it to some podcasts or stuff like that because you were working your ass off in the fall and winter.
Right.
You knew that you needed a certain type of balance, so you weren't trying to overextend yourself. These guys they're an exception. They're going to have problems where whatever they're doing, And one of the guys apparently was going to have health problems just because he wasn't even doing anything to help himself, Yeah,
I mean, you got to get up, and if you're doing a 24-hour stream, like I did a 32-hour poker session one time online, a long time ago, me and my buddy, and about every 3 or 4 hours, we get up and walk around the block.
Yeah, because you're not fucking dumb.
He was in a different town. And we'd get up and walk around the block or go outside and, walk around for a little bit on our cell phone and talk. And, we were cheating and shit. But,
right.
Well, you know what I mean? We were talking on the phone while we were playing, but online, but which is a no-no. But, it's anybody with common sense knows that you can't, I don't care what you're doing. You can sit there and do yoga for 24 hours. It's going to fucking kill you. Anything will kill you.
If you keep doing it day after day,
I mean, it's an idiot hack job article. It's not even, it's fucking ridiculous.
And this is what I'm pissed about. And unfortunately, approaching these things is like, oh, you're talking bad about the guy that died and say that it wasn't. No, I'm not. I'm bringing attention to how Kotaku is trying to gain like views and essentially money off of trying to build on the emotional feelings of streamers wanting to feel legitimate, And it's not right to do that to these people. It's like, oh, well, let's make let's see how many other articles they make in regards to this kind of thing. They're going to keep going on it saying they're reporting, but that second article immediately, and even part of that first one where it had nothing to do with the actual facts and everything to do with them trying to push some kind of agenda, trying to put it on other people. They have no stake in it, other than gaining news headlines. And that's what they were trying to create their own fucking future feature. And it's scummy.
Oh, it's real scummy.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then it leads back to video games are bad for you. It's always going to come back to that narrative.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off about it. You know what I mean? So
They're bad for
Jim
you.
Fix,
Everybody is in bad health that does it apparently, and they can't take care of themselves.
Right.
That's not true.
That's not true at all. I mean, there's so many different.
Yeah, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
There's healthy gamers. There's unhealthy everybody.
I had pneumonia last year because I was not taking care of myself during my day job. I stopped running. I stopped doing all that stuff, and I stopped taking care of myself. So I got pneumonia from that.
Pneumonia.
And I had so many different little issues during that time period when I was working as well that were all caused by stress from the job. That had nothing to do with video games or even the job. That had to do with how I was handling the stress. So this all goes back to that stuff too. If you don't handle your fucking mind properly and your body, yeah, you're going to be screwed whatever you're doing. That's all it comes down to. And if you're going to push yourself like a crazy man, then yeah, something's going to break. That's just a fact, So
I know these online. Even like the Wall Street Journal and everything. They're really stretching because their revenue is so far down,
right?
That there's just stretching for these news stories, what they call news.
Yeah,
and they're just stretching so bad to try generate some kind of interest again in their publication. And it's
people give Polygon a bad rap, but they reported the news on this article, and they
go.
didn't report the other one. Because the other one was a created feature.
Right.
It's some bullshit.
That's such bullshit, man.
They weren't the only one. GameSpot also just reported the news.
Yeah.
They did not. Because you know why? Because it's scummy to try to this guy, what can we do about this? How can we make this something for the future that we can tie into? Right. There's some insecurities about legitimacy of gamers doing what they do. Even you said it yourself, Cal. This is stupid. They're just playing games. Who gives a shit? But in reality, there's a lot of they're trying to make revenue. They're trying to make a business.
And they are making revenue.
They
making
absolutely
ridiculous
are.
amounts of revenue.
And it does become but at the same time, it's like any other. If you want to treat it like a job, then fucking treat it like a job. It's like any other job. If you're going to drive yourself to fucking doing the wrong things, like they were talking about how one or a couple of people were using amphetamines during their 24-hour streams or whatever. It's okay, those people were going to do that kind of shit no matter where they went.
Right.
That is not the
truck
activity.
Drivers don't do that shit?
Yeah, that's not the activity. That's the person.
Yeah. Anecdotal evidence is not statistics.
Right.
People need to realize this when you make a case and your case is purely anecdotal, like this guy's.
Yep.
Oh, I was sick and I was going to be a streamer. That is just not anything.
Those things coincide.
Exactly.
That is it.
That's
and he had precondition issues.
Jim Fix was one of the healthiest men in the world, supposedly, and he had a heart attack while he was jogging.
All I want to know is, if I die tomorrow, I want you guys to blame it on YouTube.
Of course. Of course we're going to blame it on YouTube.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
I'll do what I can.
The whole thing just makes me cringe, man.
It pisses me off.
It pisses me off to no end.
Because now we're going to start getting this negative, more. We don't need any more negativity. And I also don't need people going out of their way to try to feel sorry for something that isn't the actual issue. Oh, no. Oh, well, this. Oh, it's because they're not. No, you know what people have a hard time? People that are in the fucking military actively serving, they have a hard time.
Thank you. That's stress.
That's a real stress.
In the morning and you
get
might
shot
get a
at.
Bullet. You might get a fucking actual bullet in your dome. That's real fucking stress. Okay.
And as much as people don't want to, it's not popular to back the men and women in blue, but police officers have a fucking hard time.
Yeah, they do.
Because not every one of them is a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So imagine having to be that person when you know of people that are out there making it bad for you, and now you're like, God, I got to put this thing on today, and I got to have everybody look at me that way.
And you're in a no-win situation. You are in an absolutely no-win situation in that profession. There's no win for you at all.
So that's some real stuff right there.
Yeah.
Go deal with that stuff. Here's some other real stuff, and this is the last thing I've got. Ooh. Disney set to lay off approximately 80 of its people from Maker. And drop support for more than 55,000 YouTubers.
Let's get into this one.
A couple more facts. We are. That's why it's at the end. A couple more facts. Disney and Maker currently support. Now, remember I said they're going to drop support for more than 55,000. They currently support
1,000. They're keeping 1,000.
No, it's I've got updated stuff. They're currently supporting 60,000, so they're dropping more than 55. They're actually looking to bring the number down to 300.
Nice. Hey, that's perfect. Good. And I hope PewDiePie fucks them right in the ass.
Speaking of, so he did his apology video, and he talked about how he was being attacked by the press and misrepresented for, and they're unfairly attacking him, right?
Right.
All I have to say to that, and this seems odd that I would say this, but he's playing that dangerous game, and he actually got burned. He doesn't like he was trying to prove a point about how headlines can, and all that shock. Look what he can do. Remember with him deleting his channel? Yet he still played the fucking game. He still played the game, and guess what? Sometimes you don't win.
Yeah, but here's the thing. In the end, he will win, and
maybe. We don't know.
What PewDiePie was trying to do, and this all ties into the Maker Studio Disney thing. What he was trying to do was prove that Fiverr, that website Fiverr, for $5, anybody they'll do anything for $5, basically.
Dude, I brought it up on the Maker forums when I was part of it too. I was like, do you guys really want to be backing Fiverr? Because you know that they have things like you can bot views, right? Is that something you want to? No one ever answered me.
Of course not. So they do a hack job on PewDiePie, and what's ironic is the main writer of the whole article, that Ben Fritz, he's actually had anti-Semitic posts on his Twitter that they've screen captured. It's hilarious. His anti-Semitic jokes on Twitter are worse than anything PewDiePie's ever done. Then you got that stupid
writer for what?
Wall Street Journal.
Oh, okay.
Ben Fritz. Yeah, on Twitter 2 years ago, he made a bunch of anti-Semitic jokes against,
But that's not Jews, Disney, so they don't. I mean,
black
that's
people.
whatever.
Yeah, but that's Wall Street Journal.
Whatever they want to deal with.
Wall Street Journal's the one that contacted Disney. They didn't go to PewDiePie. They didn't ask PewDiePie for his input to clarify the context of his video. They went straight to Disney and said, "Look, this is what your boy's doing," and Disney dropped him.
Yeah.
So and then YouTube dropped him as well. Then they
I have no problem with that.
They tried to get his channel unmonetized.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Well, see, that's Wall Street. That's how they want to do business, And Disney wants to do business a certain way too. Now, if Wall Street Journal wants to employ somebody like that, that's fine. Now, and if they want to go and say, "Hey, look what you," sure, but are we in it for it? Oh, morals don't win the world, right?
Unless you're on the left, and then that's all you have.
I don't give a shit about that political crap. I really don't.
Morals. Well, I mean,
to me that means nothing. What really means is business, and that's what I'm seeing going on there. If Disney want to drop him, and because of what somebody else said,
that's what
and yet that person is how they are. That's the decision for Disney to do, and if PewDiePie wants to play it a certain way, that's what he's going to do. But at the end of the day, who's going to, who knows if he's going to keep getting ads?
In no way is PewDiePie trying to support anti-Semitic views with that video.
I don't think anybody thought that.
He was making an outrageous video to prove another point.
Right.
He had those two guys hold up "Death to Jews" just to say, "Hey, I paid these guys $5 to do this."
The problem is he did it the wrong way.
And he admits he did it the wrong way, but the Wall Street Journal really did it the wrong way.
But they got away with it, so they did it the right way.
Yeah, but the backlash is pretty bad.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. We really will.
End up walking away. They've already made him a martyr for free speech. They've already made him a martyr.
Get that shit out of here. That has nothing to do with this.
Oh, yes, they have.
Well, they can make it. No, I didn't say they didn't. I'm saying they can do that all they want, whoever they is, because this is getting into the stupid kind of bullshit that I don't want to have on the podcast. When you start talking about left and I don't give a fuck about that. The point is business, So you can say somebody's a martyr for free speech, but it's business. Disney is not about free speech. That's fucking dumb. To even attempt to broach this idea that free speech belongs in a business is fucking ludicrous. It has nothing to do with anything. It really doesn't. Well, so if the external world wants to look at PewDiePie as a martyr for free speech, great. Fucking, pay his Patreon. Great. There we go. Everybody will be happy, right? Disney will have their 300 that they're going to keep pushing, and everybody will have their PewDiePie content because they're actually going to pay for him to, keep doing his bullshit, right?
Yeah, but my point is, you've got to have some ethics in business. And Wall Street Journal. Yeah, I know.
Oh, you're hilarious. Do you see who we have for a president? Shit, ethics in business. Get the hell out of here.
The Wall Street Journal lied to everyone because they said they tried to contact
So people stopped
PewDiePie
buying his shit. Their stuff.
Before they contacted his sponsors, they said that they tried to contact PewDiePie. PewDiePie said he was not even that Wall Street Journal didn't even attempt to contact me about that I can explain the context of the videos. The editor of Wall Street Journal said that he went through the videos, which he didn't. And then later on Twitter, he admits that, okay, I'm looking through the videos. So, what kind of editor would allow that piece to be ran on the Wall Street Journal without checking out the story first and then checking the background of the guy reporting on it? The guy reporting on it makes the same kind of jokes on Twitter, but it's okay for, you know what I mean? I mean, the whole thing.
I do, but I also know the things that you push on Twitter too. So I'm seeing it from the perspective of what you talk about, and I don't have anything to back up what you're saying either. Yeah.
I mean, in my view, PewDiePie's better off anyway. You're better off without Disney.
Probably.
Maker Studio hasn't made a dime. They're not a profit. They haven't profited since Disney's taken them over, supposedly. So Disney's wanting to get rid of them anyway.
Yeah, there were things that they were talking about in this article where I think GamerTron even brought up something like PewDiePie was like, I was looking at some of the old videos and he used to just yell rape all the time. It's just, I was like, when I watched YouTube initially, there was a guy, Pro Syndicate, I think, who used to call he would play COD Zombies and say gonna make a rape train. And I was like,
right.
What? Why is this young kid talking? Why is he saying this shit? Why does he also have shitloads of viewers? I think even back then he had hundreds of thousands of subs already, I'm like, what? What's going on here, And so I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to watch. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't watch it. It's
right.
Bad comedy.
But it's what the people wanted, clearly.
Yeah.
So
and clearly that's what they want from PewDiePie. I mean,
kicking him out of it isn't going to do anything to him if the people want to actually back him,
That's why I said they're just strengthening PewDiePie by doing this. That's all they're doing. He'll end up coming out even better. I guess
possibly
YouTube canceled his show, which was cringy anyway. Mm-hmm. The show wasn't.
Well, I think everything he does is horrible.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit. I'm not paying this stuff.
I'm not a PewDiePie fan, but I do stand up for his right to make those.
So
videos.
I'm the only one on this podcast that actually likes his videos. Okay.
Well, look, I don't even care about. My point was not even caring about bringing him up and talking about his. I don't give a fuck about him. All I was reporting on was the fact that Disney and Maker were cutting down everything from 60,000 support down to 300.
But
I could give a fuck less about PewDiePie.
It's kind of coincidental this all happened within a 2-week span. You know what I mean?
To me, it makes sense. And I'm glad that they're doing it because one of the problems with those networks was they would let anybody in. So they were attempting to can you make $5? Fine. If we get together $5 from 1,000 people, so that kind of thing, instead of actually producing quality content and backing people the way they should have. They could never support the people that they had, ever.
Yeah, there was actually no point. If you were a small YouTuber, there's no point there's no point in joining Maker Studio. What's the point?
Exactly. Yeah. And I found that out. My first 2-year contract, I was like, okay, you guys can't actually do anything for me? All right, I would contact them. I would say, hey, what about this? What about blah, blah, blah? It's like, all right, you're not doing anything for me. See you later.
You gave me a shout out on their forums. Ooh.
I didn't even get that.
Yeah, I mean.
And that was when my channel was in its heyday of Warframe stuff, and I was climbing. I was like, hey, guys, look at these numbers. This is really good. What do you think? Could you give me something? Throw me a bone?
They don't give you a shout out. You give yourself a shout out. I mean, that's what I meant.
Okay.
They have a little forum post where you can go and
with the 5 people that would go on that forum.
I jerk off a lot. Hey, come watch my shit, or whatever.
I'm sorry, I said 5 people. The 12 people that would be on that forum that would just be producing really horrible content. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, they sound really good. So then you'd go you're like, wow, this guy really sounds like they know what they're talking about. You go to their channel and it's some really cringy, horrible, fucking
Crappy,
done Minecraft video that just sucks and it's got like 12 views. I'm like, the fuck are you talking such mad shit in the forum if you can't even back up your own stuff? Dude, I've got more subs than you do. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not trying to give people advice on something that I haven't done yet.
Yep.
So, no, that's what that is. What that led to was going back to this other article that I popped into the chat, which was talking about how all the crap that, we have to deal with as YouTubers when it comes to like people not getting our content and all of that. And it's just nice to see that article was like just legitimizing, once again, that's kind of a big thing, legitimizing the fact that, YouTube changes the rules a lot. If you happen to not produce stuff, guess what? It turns out that YouTube decides that they're not going to really push your stuff either,
Right.
Because you haven't been doing it. And then if people decide to take a break from watching your stuff, that's another thing where they'll decide, okay, well, that person's they haven't watched your stuff in like in a couple of weeks, so therefore we're not going to send them too much of your stuff. So you're fucked two ways. And they call it something like, what was that term? Something burn, subscriber burn, I think.
Yes.
And what I happened to do right before the podcast was I went to go look at my subs because I was like, I'm just curious, who's and I went through the recent, and I know Dogman Dan, he watches my shit. He likes it, because I see the things. He puts comments. He's not in my subs. Because they randomly just fucking drop you from the fucking list,
But there's a possibility that he has some kind of setting clicked that won't show. It doesn't allow him to be showed up on.
I would see it. No, you don't. You can't hide yourself from somebody else's.
Yeah.
You can hide subs from beans. Like you can hide YouTube's people seeing certain content.
Yeah,
well,
YouTube's fucking broken. So
yeah, absolutely. So all of this went back to this. It's just like, how long can this mess go on? The comments are garbage now. Again, you can't even turn off shit. Let's say I make a note on your channel, and then some fucking trolls show up at 12 of them, and they just keep hitting you with I have notifications on because I want to see when stuff happens on my channel. I don't want to see when some fucking idiot starts troll bombing a comment I made on GamerTron's video. But I can't turn off that comment anymore.
Right, exactly.
So I got to see all that stupidity and get all these email notifications just because I want email notifications for when I get stuff happen on my channel. Because they're not separated anymore. They tried to strip Google Plus from it.
Oh, Janzer, you're going to love this. I just checked my subscriber list, and you're not in my subscriber list.
Hey, there you go.
I can't find you now.
Perfect. Yep. See, it was easy to sort by... It was easy to sort Dogman Damp because I could just see like who are the most popular on my list. That's really easy.
Yeah.
See, you can't really even search your subscriber list for a particular person. That's a pain in the ass.
There's no way to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And and if you want to see who the first one is, you can't even see like who the oldest ones are. There's only most recent and most popular.
Yep.
That's it. So it's a wonderful land. I've been hit with a shitload of bots lately too that keep leaving stupid shitty comments like great video, turns out it's a goddamn bot. I'm like, what the fuck is with all of this shit? The B3, because I have access to that one, I had put up a video on my channel and put up a video on the B3, like the podcast, the same bot, great video. I was like, motherfucker. Because it happens like almost immediately. I'm like, what is with this bot bullshit?
Well, what a lot of YouTubers are doing now is starting their own separate email service and putting that down in the comments. So they'll do a mass email. If you subscribe to their email service, they'll just personally do a mass email to let you know they uploaded a video.
And then we get back into that whole thing about like nobody fucking likes emails like that.
Oh, I know. But I mean, if you're missing a guy, how hard is it to sit down one day at your computer, for 20 minutes a day at your computer and check all of the people?
Dude, people don't even want to sit through 5-minute videos. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. So.
They don't. You're asking like an already like a crowd of people that don't want to stand for anything to like do a little bit of work. Shit. They don't even want to sub to the B3 GamingCast YouTube. We don't even have 100 people there yet, so we can't even get our name. I can't even get people to like videos.
There is a way to get your name without having 100. There's a way to do it.
I think you have to have a certain amount of time that you've had the channel too, or something like that.
You've got to have it 30 days. And
Yeah.
there's a guy that made a video on how to like rebrand
The
your
problem
URL.
is they change shit all the time.
Yeah, it'll change in 6 months. Yeah,
Because
exactly.
remember, it was all tied to Google Plus at one point when you had to go, oh, you can change your name through Google Plus now. It's like, well, fuck, all right, I guess I'll do that then. Yeah, what's the next thing? Or jump through that hoop? All right, go ahead, jump through that hoop. Now what? All right.
Like you can change your icon from like you have to do it through Google Plus now. Change your little avatar icon and everything.
Goddamn YouTube.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, when's it going to stop? I don't know.
Who knows?
But
Who knows?
I mean, it's like YouTube. It just well, it's not like it does. It simply does not care. It does not care, even though they're losing as much money as we're losing.
Well, that was that point of that article. I got to find. I have the link somewhere, and I'll put it in the description for the podcast notes. I think it's this PewDiePie controversy, YouTube drama Polygon link. Let me open that up. Yeah. The only nice thing about this was the guy started talking about like all the challenges that YouTubers actually have. Like this one about occasionally notify me of new videos. Why would anybody want to be occasionally notified?
Occasionally.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Oh man.
It's insane. It's insane. And here's the thing, YouTube would be making more money if they just put more time into taking care of these issues.
You know,
I mean, these issues aren't that hard to fix, I would think.
Or let's say I don't want an email about every single goddamn video that comes out, but I can check mark like that whole stupid fucking bell that tells you everything. It's like on certain video channels, I want to be able to get all the notifications. But yeah, if you don't do that, you sometimes don't get any. So yeah,
right.
Whatever. I'm done with that garbage. That's a whole pile of burning garbage.
Pretty much.
It really
Pretty much.
It's my only source of revenue.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry for you. All right.
Oh man. Well, it's doing okay.
Maybe
it's doing
PewDiePie will
okay.
make his own network.
Dude, go hit him
You can
up.
join-
Be like, I also hate YouTube. Yeah, and Muslims. And then he'll be like, perfect, you're in.
I
you-
highly doubt
Just
that.
put a swastika on your forehead. He'll totally pick you up.
Highly doubt that
Whatever.
for some reason.
Why? You'll be controversial. That's what he likes, right?
Oh,
Gets views. Yeah.
of course. Of course.
So he's doing it right now behind the camera.
Oh, haha, very funny.
People can't see what
Very
GamerTron
funny.
covered up his camera, so.
Yeah, I
Ha
saw
ha
that.
ha ha ha
get
ha.
rid of it.
Yeah, because we totally need to point that out. That's so important.
Hey,
swap
audio
all the
viewers
swap.
want to know what's going on. They don't
Oh,
have
of
cameras.
course.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
What do you
That's
do? Put
it.
the handkerchief over it, GamerTron? Is that?
No, that's just my hand, just my nice, my beautiful natural hand. What else was
okay.
I gonna say?
Egotistical as fuck. What? My beautiful natural hand.
Oh man. So I guess to finish up the podcast
Sure.
here, we all played the Ghost Recon Wildlands beta, right? We all played it.
don't
Yeah,
know.
I played about an hour.
Oh,
I haven't played the new. I'll probably
The
just
new
buy
one.
the game. I mean, I'll see enough of the game online, you know.
Okay. Whoa, is my camera. What's? Okay.
I don't
anyways,
know.
okay. Well, So I finally got to play the last few days. I finally got to play the Ghost Recon Wildlands beta, and it's not clicking with me, guys. It's not clicking with me. When I saw you guys live streaming it, and when you talked about the beta, well, specifically you, Janzer, and Volt, you guys talked about like how much fun you had, how great the game was,
It's
and all that
important
stuff.
that you're bringing this up because I've brought this up before. Keep going.
Okay, the thing, I'm not going to deny that Wildlands, from what I played, just from the beta, it's certainly a well-made game. There's no denying it's a good game. The character customization is insane, and you could spend hours on that alone. It's a beautiful open world. I'm sure for people who love open worlds, it will be great to explore. It looks fun. There's a ton of different vehicles to traverse it with. There's so much content. This is just the beta, and the map's already huge. When the full game comes out, it's going to be gargantuan. Wildlands has a lot of stuff going for it, but the gameplay's just not clicking for me. It's just not clicking for me. When I get into a gunfight, I feel like there's so few enemies that the gunfight is over before it even began. I think stealth is almost useless. Like, there's no benefit to going in stealth. Like, the enemies die so quickly, you might as well just shoot them. I mean, it just takes longer to go in stealth. Right. I mean, you don't get any extra XP or anything like that. And the previous Ghost Recon games, like, stealth was, like, integral, because combat would be difficult, it would be intense. But I find with Wildlands, like, stealth is just, it just hinders you. Like, I might as well just fucking shoot them and get it over with. And I find that there's, like, I want to get into gunfights. I want to get into the shootouts. I want to, like, try out the combat. But again, it's over so quickly. I find most of my time with the gameplay is just traveling from point A to B. And because the map's so huge, I'm trying to commandeer vehicles. Like, the game's just not clicking for me. I understand. Like, I can look at this from an objective point of view and say, this is a good game. This is a well-made game. There are people out there who are going to love this game.
Like Overwatch.
Yeah. But it's just not clicking for me.
I get it.
Just not doing it for me.
Yeah. It's not your kind of game. I think Graham in chat actually hit upon a lot of things that make a lot of sense to me. You do like a lot more, and you said it right now too. You want to get in the fight. You like it a lot more action-oriented. This can be played very slow and tactical. And your thing about, like, there's no point in being stealth is absolutely the opposite of what I've experienced. But then, because I can see how it can be played with in fact, there were missions that I did purely with, like, stealth and the sniper rifle, killed every single one. No one alerted. It was glorious. And I was able to see how the AI swapped up their, like, walking patterns. Sometimes one person would come behind a building, sometimes two. Sometimes one would they would meet from opposite ends. And I was like, this is awesome. The AI is really, like, it's not like Metal Gear Solid of old where they would just kind of, like, you knew exactly they're going to run this L shape and go back. They're going to keep doing that over and over, and you know how to time it, you know? No, they were actually varying up their walk patterns and all that stuff. And I was like, this is really fun. And I had the exact opposite. Now, what you said about myself and Volts playing it and how it looked fun for us, this is what I warned about and what I made the mistake of buying DayZ for, is never rely on a group of people or a single person having a good time in a game as being the reason why you're going to get that game. Ever. Never, ever. Because there's some people that can just have fun. I was doing stupid shit. I was riding a tractor down, like, a mountain and jumping out of a plane and hopping around from one side to the other. There was very little of the game that I was actually playing, and mostly I was screwing around. People have mentioned that this game is very similar to the Far Cry series for them, and I've heard the other thing of it being similar to GTA, and I agree with both. It's got that open world feel. It's got some screwing around you can do, like GTA. Like, there were just dumb things you can do. There's just really, really dumb things you can do. I was going to the river to find boats just to ride around in. Why? I don't know. Had nothing to do with the game.
That's what I do in Watch Dogs 2. I didn't even play the story in Watch Dogs 2. I just rode around on a motorcycle.
You didn't play the story of Watch Dogs 2? What's wrong with you?
I played a little bit. I played a couple hours, but mostly I just got on vehicles and went around causing mayhem, causing havoc.
You have no idea what you're missing out, like the set pieces and the cut scenes.
I could say that about you and what you said about the stealth in this game, but you would feel differently, right?
I was making a point. I wasn't getting into the Watch Dogs 2. I was just making a point.
And I'm not going to say that you were missing out. You just don't enjoy that kind of gameplay right now. You know, maybe you will later, or
like,
maybe
I enjoy stealth games. Like, I love the stealth of the previous Ghost Recon game, Future Soldier. I played for that entire game stealth. I really enjoyed the stealth. I find the stealth is just like,
what was the game? What was the gameplay like, though? Well, like, was it this? You know, like you said, there's a lot of travel in between points. There is fast travel as well, actually.
Well, you see, the previous Ghost Recon game, it was linear. It was linear, and you were in one section, then immediately in another. Like, you stealth a room full of guys. Look, okay, everybody here's dead. Move to the next room. Now it's a different scenario.
Yeah, so maybe it's something about the... I don't know. Maybe it's something about the not being able to be in a fight every, like, 2 minutes, you know, kind of thing. The Division, you can fast travel to anywhere you need to be, and you're ready to go into a fight, you know? This has got a much more open feel. That's all that's to it. You know, it's kind of like, I think open world really, or games that are more open like that don't seem to appeal to you as much for whatever reason. It doesn't seem like it. 7 Days to Die, you don't give a shit about that. ESO, I don't think you cared about that, but you also didn't like the graphics to it. There was something about it you didn't really care about. But that can also be played very open world. You can just do whatever the hell you want in that game. You don't have to follow the story in any way, shape, or form. The Division, I think you could play very open, but the action in it is so much more intense, I think. Here, see, I couldn't just walk into a group of people. In fact, I watched Graham try to do it, and he got mowed down. I was like, it's not the Division, dude. You can't just walk in there. You will get your ass mowed down. Granted, I don't know what enemies you went against. He was going against like the security team for like the country or whatever.
Oh yeah, I was going up against both the cartel and Unidad, and I was like everybody dies so quickly via headshots. I was mostly just using the assault rifle and shooting them in the head. And
right, because it's not the Division. Right. So there's people in the Division that want this kind of gameplay that weren't happy with it, in the Division. So we'll see, if they'll actually like this over the Division. I like both. I like the slow tactical approach, but also like the fact that I can fuck around in that game and not get bored, Because
I have yet to play the co-op, which is why I want to play it with you. Maybe co-op completely changes how I feel about the game.
Well, playing single player was really fun because I could do that slow, deliberate setup of sniping everybody or telling my guys to quick shot, So I could set them up, have them kill everybody for me, and just direct. I was directing the battle. Is what it comes down to.
That's what I liked about the previous Ghost Recon is how you could order your squad to take out units. Yeah, but in this one, unlike the previous game, you have to unlock. You have to level up and unlock the whole synchronized kill thing.
Well, no, you get an initial quick shot, and then you get another one. But you also do have commands for each one of your guys, and you also have gadgets that you can use too.
Yes,
I'm not sure how much of that you got into.
Drone. I tried out the recon drone, and again, you have to level up that. I think what I'm not used to.
I think without getting all of the skills, you're not going to feel the full effect of how everything can be.
I think I need to level up and unlock all the skills because in the previous game, you had all your skills from the beginning, but you had to eventually unlock weapons, which I was okay with. This one, it's kind of the opposite. In this one, you can pick up all the weapons they drop. You get access to a lot of weapons.
You can, but that does not immediately unlock them at all. In fact, you have to go to you have to do certain things, go to certain places, or do certain objectives in certain places in order to actually unlock them. You can pick the weapons up, but they do not unlock. I know, I found that out the hard way.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought they unlocked once you picked them up. Okay.
Which is kind of a little peeve of mine. I'm like, why can't I just pick that weapon up, take it to my inventory box, for example, and then it's unlocked? But no, you just, if you drop it or if you fast travel like Graham was showing out earlier, you lose the weapon. So that's all it is. You always have your primary weapons, but you cannot unlock them until later. You have to hit certain points on the map and stuff like that, or reach a level, I think. But what's really nice too is that your skills, and there's a lot of different things that you can do as far as to get your skills. You can go to certain points and just keep, getting these little badges that give you skills. When you get intel,
I did like about that. If you are a collectionist, if you're a completionist, if you love collecting stuff and just completing progress, leveling up, I did like that. I was, whenever there was a medical crate or an oil drum, must mark, must that I really liked. I really liked that aspect of collecting resources.
There is another nice thing where you find intel papers and you get to select, do you want to know where all of the skills are? Do you want to know where all the weapon caches are? Or do you want to know this? And the fun thing is, it doesn't matter what you pick because you're probably going to run across another one of those anyways. So don't feel so bad about I didn't pick that, Like I said, the game's pretty open. And I think that games like that can appeal to some people a lot and appeal to other people not as much. But the solo gameplay, Graham said in chat, and that's the right word for it, pacing. You get to control the pace fully on your own. Multiplayer gameplay is where me, Volts, and Panda were blowing each other up with grenades and not reviving each other on purpose. It was, or getting a helicopter and then jumping off of it and leaving Panda in the passenger seat, and he can't fly the helicopter because he just can't physically get into the seat, while Volts and I both have a parachute and we're going to the ground, Oh my God. So he crashes, or running each other over, or picking fights with, the security team, and then, that kind of stuff. Off-roading with the tractor. So there's bullshit in the game, and there's also a game to play too. the full breakdown of like expanded view of your weapon, how you can upgrade all that stuff. To me, that's neat. I've never experienced that, but you've already seen that.
Yeah, I've already seen that in the previous Ghost Recon game. Yeah, I'm glad to see stuff like that return.
So maybe the more open world nature of the game doesn't appeal as much.
Well, I do like open world games, Janzer. Don't get me wrong. Like, the Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim. I love those games. Adore those games. I've put hundreds of hours into those games. I do like open worlds, but I find in those games and other open world games I've played, they give you just the right amount of enemies. Combat lasts just the right amount of time. It's not too short.
Things get harder, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I've heard like people were talking about like they went into one facility, they thought they had it, they got obliterated, and there was one that Fulton and I took that was huge, and we got murdered a few times, and it was just it takes a bit more tactical pacing, in order to actually not die in some of those instances later on.
I think my problem maybe I just
need more.
Game. I need more unlocked. I think I need like all the skills. I think I need it's one of those games where I have to mod it. I say screw the progression. I want everything now and start the game off like that, like I've done with. I
just like that we found a game that you're not going to pre-order. That I'm actually like I'm not going to pre-order it, but I'm going to pick it up pretty early. I just want a decent sale on it, but I will pick it up.
Okay, yeah, sure. I may give the game a try more. I definitely, again, I want to play. Before the beta ends, I want to play a bit more of it, but...
I was like you, Tron. I wasn't super impressed with the game when I played it. I only played about an hour, but I wasn't...
Well, Cal, I'm impressed with the game from an objective point of view. Like, the visuals are beautiful.
Right.
Like, the amount of customization and content, like, the actual design of the open world, and, like, how much emphasis they put on, like, the cartel, like, building the lore of this cartel and
There's
how
some
brutal
stupid
and dark
moments.
it is.
Did you guys get to the part where those two... They're two like medical people, and they end up doing torture work.
Oh yeah, for the cartel, yeah.
Where that one
Yori
woman,
and Polito.
Yeah, where Yori, the woman, is talking about like the guy's dick.
Oh yeah, I got
the
that
corpse's
too.
boner.
Oh man.
Yeah. And she just keeps going on and like making jokes and stuff. It's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry, there are some really funny parts in the game.
Yeah,
too.
They've
got character
has a dark sense of humor. It has a very dark sense of humor.
While you're going around your squad, if you're with the squad and you don't have like people, you just have AI. They like start telling like military jokes, which are pretty funny. It just they try to give it a lot of character.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just me and the gameplay. I need more time with the gameplay because what I've played so far, I'm like, about.
Well, you don't have to like it, It just could be a game that doesn't really gel that well with you, and that's totally fine.
But
you don't have to like every game.
I will, damn it, Count. I will try. But yeah, seriously, I do want to give Wildlands more of a chance. I do want to play more of it because there is some stuff in there that I genuinely really like. It's great to play a game that takes place in Bolivia. Bolivia is not a place in the world that gets a lot of attention in games, so to see an open world built from it, that's really awesome. And again,
unless it's a drug cartel game, and then,
there you go. And the character customization, this I cannot stress enough. That character customization though, is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, and that's where I'm like, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. I actually tried on my live stream. I was like, all right, I'm making a dude because yes, I always played the female whatever because I can't make a dude. I can't make a me. So I was like, I'm legitimately going to try to make me. It ended up looking like The Rock. That's as close as I could make a me. So you say there's a lot, but there's like 2 dark colors and like everything else is light color for skin. There's 2 Asian, 2 darker, and then everything else is white people. And I'm like, okay, that nothing looks like me here. So you probably mean like the outfits and all that stuff.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, the outfits. That is exactly what I'm talking about, the outfits. Like
you also can't actually affect their facial features, so it's actually missing a lot. It's like The Division where it's missing a lot of customization of the actual person.
And
you don't get like
morphing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
This
you don't have that.
This isn't like a BioWare game where you can change every little detail of the
But the character models look good. I mean, they look halfway decent.
They look better than Rainbow Six Siege's, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that Siege hasn't like tried to like up their quality. They have. They've been working on it. They probably watched my video. Oh man,
yeah.
They're like, that cunt. Let's make sure he can never log on. Oh shit! You hate the way Ash looks? Well, guess what? Yeah.
Oh man. So was that a cast, guys?
Please, I hope so. I'm starting to yawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So we want to thank you all in the chat for dropping by on the live stream. As always, you guys are true be-free gaming heroes. Thank you so much for the support and everything. Everyone, remember to check us out on all the social media links, all the different downloads, of course, iTunes and the YouTube channel. Show that some love.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, I already put out yesterday like multitude. I like Twitter bombed everything because we put out the Ship of Heroes talk. And I even put a video on my channel saying to everybody to go tell Count thank you on his Twitter for getting the work together on that, because he actually did the majority of the work. I just did some of the production.
Kickstarter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I tweeted about that. I put it on the Facebook page, and I was like, hey, yeah. So they told me that. Yeah, I tried to keep you in the loop on those emails, but then Justin, I think, was the guy. He was just kind of like this and that. So we're kind of going back and forth on like what assets I needed. It turned out I could just do everything with what I had. Right. But, that was great because then I could actually put that video out and the audio out as well. And that was great. I'm appreciative of that, and that was really fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Yep. And Count's going to be in the game.
There.
He's going to be an NPC.
Job. Yeah, I can't wait for the game. I mean, hopefully I'm still alive and I haven't died while streaming or some shit.
Oh, well, that's probably going to happen.
You never know, man. My health isn't the best, so,
Yeah, Count's going to be dead.
Oh, God. Anyways,
we'll have this guy in place of him then.
Well, when it's 70 degrees one day and then 30 the next where I live, it's fucking killing me, man.
Dude, same here. It was like Schwartz Day the other day, and then today is like 50.
Snow.
Well, for you, snow. We got 50, so that's not bad.
We had 70 yesterday, and it's snowing today. So, yeah, I'm all fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
It just makes me not give a shit about anything.
It's time to hibernate is what it is.
Yeah, it just makes me want to stay in bed all day. That's all.
My God.
I actually did some YouTube work, though, this week. So
no shit.
Yeah, I got a vlog. I'm starting a vlog starting Tuesday. It'll be out. I've already recorded it. I got to edit it a little bit. No.
Damn
it's just me. It's me rambling on with outrage shit.
Cool, good, because you need an outlet
about.
For that. And I was like saying we could do a podcast for that, just not this one.
No. I don't want to do a podcast for that.
What? We could totally go into
you guys are too sensitive. You guys
for 3 hours.
You guys are too progressive.
Eat a dick.
Look,
what?
Well, that's Count's thing. He knows how to press whatever. He already knows. I don't want to do it on this podcast, so whatever.
Well,
it is.
I know Gamertron's got a picture of Justin Trudeau up in his room somewhere. That's probably why he covered.
Shut the fuck up!
That's
I will
why he
murder
covered.
You.
What? Why don't you like him? Everyone likes him.
Oh, because he's a not doing that. Not you said not
feminazi?
this podcast.
Hey, he's a good. He's a good-looking kid, but
jeez, wow, okay.
He's a charismatic kid, but he's not.
Janser, end the podcast, please.
Yeah, all right, we're out of here. Thank you, guys.
Well, you know what I mean.
Check out upcoming stuff. What do you got going on Gamertron upcoming? We know Count's got a vlog coming up, which actually would be pretty interesting.
Not really.
I'm going to be live streaming sometime soon. Not sure about tomorrow, but live streaming sometime soon. Got some more videos coming up, of course, and hopefully, along with some other fellow YouTubers, starting a whole new series about video games and something very specific. A new video.
What are you
series.
saying? Get on with it.
No video series.
Christ.
I don't want to spoil it. New video series.
New video series.
Spoil it.
From the Gamertron coming up very soon. Awesome.
Just spoil it, man. Come on.
Later. It'll be a surprise. Anyways, thank you all for listening to the Be Free Gaming Cast. Now, what do you got, Chancer?
Same old bullshit. Still live streaming every day on the YouTube, and that's pretty much it. So
when's your next 24-hour charity stream?
I'll probably die before that.
Jesus Christ!
4-hour stream, too
That's
brutal
what I was
for
trying
me.
to get out of you.
Too brutal for me.
Man.
Yeah, I can't handle 4 hours. Yeah, I'm ending it. We're out.
Yes. Bye, guys.